Hey there guys, how you doing? This is Ice9 doing another Madden Mobile video. Not doing as many these days, but I'll try to chip in wherever I can and make the occasional video. Got no heads to play. Not doing too badly in these. But really just going to cover our Ultimate Legends and our bosses for the week. And I got a week off from the bosses. They're both really good cards, but they're just not on my list of positions that I want to fill. You know, I want strong safety, hopefully a Cam Chancellor card now that Sean Taylor got an Ultimate Legend. Don't want another offensive lineman, at least, you know, not without the means to have tokens to do other players. And don't really want an outside linebacker. I've got Hendricks, Boss Hendricks, and I've got Super Bowl Von Miller, and those are pretty good cards. But these are good cards. We're going to cover them. Jahri Evans here. And run block boost and another impact block booster. So this essentially... you know, you get the bosses for offensive line now, and if you have like Fisher, and then you have, say, like Martin, who's really a cheap card, you know, that card got really inexpensive. I mean, no matter who else you have, essentially, I mean, everybody's going to be at just about 99 run block, 99 pass block, and 99 impact block. So it's a very cool thing about this. And you could really, if you plug in a boss here and there, they all boost each other up. They all boost other cards up. So you put in a few key ones here and there. I mean, it's definitely going to help out. I eventually would like to do this card because it's another fast guard. It'll be great on the pull. Perfect 99 impact block with boost. Perfect 99 run block. So this really solid card. And what we're finding, though, you know, with these bosses plugged in here, actually we'll do this in a second, but at any rate, yes, very good card. Boosts are only for the offensive line, though, and not a position I wanted to fill, so not doing it right now. I've got 24 tokens, and I'm saving them for skilled positions, most of them, positions I really want to fill. Other card here, James Harrison, and this is the fastest James Harrison card I've ever seen. They usually do him bogus with the speed, but this card with the bosses, it just seems like, you know, they don't, you know, they just give him all insane stats. So basically, he'll have 99 speed if you have OBJ on your team. And if you look at the boost here, I mean, 98 zone coverage, 99 easily with NTL, 94 man coverage if you've got Norman with the 89 base man. Just really good. Good block shed too. It'll be, I think the block shed's 99. I think the power moves are also 99. Excellent card. Catch is 70. 6 foot tall. I would probably put him at right outside linebacker. He is a better pass rusher than anything, even with those insane coverage stats. I would probably not take him over Boss Hendricks at left outside linebacker, just because of the height. And, you know, the height is the big thing. Also, the Hendricks card has a little bit better catch. But otherwise, this truly is a card you could play right outside linebacker, left outside linebacker. It could just really do a lot. I think that with his power moves, block shed, everything being so high, he's probably better at right outside linebacker. Really good, solid stop in the run. Really can do anything with this card. Play recognition was the reason I might have been a little bit more interested in doing this card if PLR wasn't one of the boosts. And the thing is that PLR is obviously a very desirable boost for sure. It's top 5 for certain, I would say. And then the strength boost going along with it is also extremely good. That helps out the whole team. The two issues that I have is I've got enough strength boosters now that, you know, guys are up there at 99 or in the high 90s at any rate. So the strength booster isn't that big a deal. And then the PLR, when you've got guys who are 95 plus already and you have Brady, there's just no reason for this. What this does open up, though, is assuming that they do another boss quarterback, we would definitely assume that he wouldn't have a PLR boost. So that'll allow you to play another quarterback and not lose that great PLR boost. Get a really good boost that goes along with it with the strength boost. And, then you're not hurting getting rid of Brady. But as far as it is, one of the boosts is kind of redundant right now. So, very, very good card, though. So if you wanted to do, you can only do a few of these, and you need a outside linebacker. That's definitely a great one to get. 3-4, 4-3, doesn't matter. Just a great, great card right there in James Harrison. And then moving on to Ultimate Legends here. And we're actually going to cover 2 weeks here. So we got Ricky Williams. I've heard of a lot of people liking the boss version of this card. This is also not a bad card at all. If you look at it, 97 base speed, 95 base strength, 89 base catch. So really, really good set-based card. No interest in doing it whatsoever. Your collectibles still hard to find. And so the set versions of all the Ultimate Legends have become pretty expensive, especially when they come out. And then I really do want to do the boss halfback when it comes out. I hope they do a Barry Sanders, and I hope they do some of these 2018 boss editions, these GOAT, or the GOAT edition rather, some of these players, Dion, Barry Sanders, obviously for me, Jerry Rice, all these cards. They might save those towards the end, is what they might do. They might not do many at all. I haven't seen any retro bosses at all, basically. I guess Hester as a bear, so I guess that is an example. They got Hester as a bear, but haven't seen too many of those cards as of yet. And I hope they don't do like 2 halfbacks and do like a Z card, and then later on do a Barry Sanders card or something like that. I hope they do a Barry card in some of these cards earlier rather than later. But this isn't a bad card. It's just, with the economy the way it is now, and people aren't doing Ultimate Legends as much because they want to do bosses. You don't want to blow all your coins on Ultimate Legends or the packs that go along with it. I mean, that's the reason that I haven't done the Shockey set. So that drives up the price of that year collectible even more. And it really closes the gap in terms of, the bosses. For the price of a lot of the bosses, you could do Ultimate Legend bosses. I'm saying you could do a boss set, and that doesn't make any sense at all to pick up an Ultimate Legend boss at that point. If you're just patient, you can get a boss instead. So obviously the boosts are a lot better, and they're great players. So, but still pretty good card. Going on to the next one here. This is a beast. Either at free or strong safety and Sean Taylor. The set base card, 98 zone, so 99 with NTL. With Norman, he'll be at 96 man. You could pretty much play this guy anywhere, from both safety positions to nickel or dime. Not sure what his block shed is, but he's a big, tall guy. So that's a guy that I would put at strong safety for sure. And again, the set is very, very good on this card. Really, really good card, but it is pretty expensive, I do believe, at this point. And then, assumedly, at some point, we're going to get a boss safety. So, the set base card's expensive. It's a good card, but it's just really, really expensive. Boss card had awareness boost, which I don't need at all. So, let's go on to our next one here, and Herman Moore. And I remember Herman playing because I was watching Barry Sanders. I was watching a lot of Lions games at the time when Herman Moore was playing. Was a really good player. They actually had one of the best wide receiving core that I have ever seen. Yeah, they had Moore, they had Perryman, and Johnny Morton, and three really, really good receivers. Moore was the best of them, the big jump ball receiver, and that's what he is in this game. Many people have played with this Thanksgiving card. This is just a bit better than that. Set base version here. It's really not. If you've got OBJ, that really, as far as that goes, then he gets up to 99 speed, 99 jump. Pretty elusive. Catch is good enough. Everything is definitely good enough. Carry is a little bit lower though, at the 85 range, so he's not quite as good as Corey Davis as far as that goes. But he is a bigger guy. I believe he was 6'4". And actually, the jump wall. This is a set base card. I'm sure the boss has 99 jump, but he was actually a high jumper. I believe that he was a really, really good high jumper. So, and definitely a jump ball receiver all day is what he was in the NFL. And this should be a pretty good card, but once again, your collectible being rare like it is, and with just a lot of 99 wide receivers out there, 99 wide receivers with boosts. It's one of those cards that I'm just kind of skipping, even though I did like Herman Moore as a player. And other card here, Too Tall Jones gets his Ultimate Legend. Set base card is decent. I wouldn't say it's great. At 88 speed, no interest at all doing this card. And the boss, too, once again, no interest. The good thing about him, of course, is he's going to bat down a lot of balls in the sets. The set-based version is pretty decent. Some of the stats, 99 awareness, so you can't even raise it at all. I would rather have the speed and the acceleration be over 90, I think, than have 99 awareness. So kind of stats in the wrong places. And then here, if we look at the auction house, and just here, let's just do. I'm just doing gold players. One of the ways that I'm doing tokens, and it's getting tougher for sure. But okay, so there's a bunch of bosses out here. He is not bringing a lot of action either. And really, when you look at this, for almost twice the price of doing what, depending on what methods you're doing it, tokens. And yet another PLR boost where we just got our second boss with +5 PLR. Just not a real appealing card. And we could look at this card versus what. I'm sure gameplay-wise, this boss card is very, very good. Very, very good power moves, and tackle and strength is perfect, and hit power, but it's just a PLR boost. And this is one of the things, so I don't know if somebody has a monopoly on this or what's going on with these Ed Too Tall Jones. If it's a monopoly, they're definitely taking a big risk. But at any rate, I would say this card isn't worth half of what they're asking. I mean, there's no way I'd take them over what. There's no way whatsoever. So that's one of the boss cards for the week. And we can kind of see how that doesn't make sense at all, unless you're just, drowning in coins. But now we've got more. We've got a catch boost. And it's about the most unexciting boost they could have given this card, really. His Thanksgiving card had a catch boost like this and acceleration on top of it. So obviously gameplay on this card is going to be better, and 98 speed, pretty high strength, good jump. I mean, this is a good card. It's just, once again, just not an exciting boost at all. And look what people are asking for the darn thing. That is good news. So the set base is going under $1 million, and looks like it's sitting for that. But the boss in the 6 to 7 million range, that's almost doing 2 Ultimate Legend bosses. It's almost doing 2 of the boss sets. So why spend all the money on these types of players? It's definitely not made people pull through more packs, I would say, or rip through more packs. I would definitely say what they've done with the boss program. So, these cards being rarer, and it's just, if you could just have patience, I just don't see why spending that much money on one of these cards, and they're not even bringing the minimum bids of 4.5 million, and as they should. I mean, I think that these are probably 2 to 3 million cards, coin cards, and that's about it for the boss version of this card. But that has been kind of the interesting thing about the boss cards. You plug in enough of those, you could put a lot of other players in. They don't have to all be boosters. Some of them can be gameplay cards. And on my team now, the 107, 109, I would assume Harrison would have taken my defense to a 110. Evans probably take my offense to a 108. But I'm just waiting right now on the cards. I want a tight end, want a halfback, probably another wide receiver if they did like a Mike Evans card or something like that as a boss. That'd probably be one that I could get down with. Even though, I mean, that Davis card's just great. And with OBJ boosting Davis, it makes it even better. Gameplay wise, it's been a great card for me. Then with safety, I probably would put Wilson over at free safety and hopefully get a bigger guy to put at strong safety. I'm hoping for a Chancellor, pulling for a Chancellor card. And then we'll get Rhodes out of there. And then, the other thing is a middle linebacker. And if it could be a GOAT, if it could be like Ray Lewis, that'd be ideal. I would take my man Brian Urlacher too. And Urlacher should get another card at some point, whether it's an Ultimate Legend or a boss. But, then we finally get Kuechly out of there. It's so depressing. All the work that I did for that. But, I mean, I got basically 5-6 months out of this card. And it's been a good card for sure. So, definitely can't complain about that. But I'll upgrade middle linebacker. I'll get another safety in there. Get Rhodes out of the lineup. I do like Blount over there at dime, but I could see, a day when his time will come. But otherwise, it's basically, he was 6'3", I believe. That's basically like playing another safety at dime, and dime is really the position where you want the big guy. That's the guy who's got to cover the Olsons, the Shockeys, and the Gronks. So having a tall guy at dime, I think, helps. I think at nickel, you could take a smaller guy. He makes a lot of plays in the flats, man coverage, things of that nature. So usually what I do is corner at the nickel and a safety or a safety-like guy at the dime. You definitely want a guy with some size at the dime, even though they're not on the field a ton. They tend to be on 3rd and 19, 4th and 19. Those are really crucial downs, obviously. So having another guy who could go up and contest those jump ball type of situations is definitely a good thing. And Blount could basically do a little bit of everything. But his day may come on my team. We will have to see how that goes. Then we're going to have a bunch of positional heroes back there. I still am rocking Hightower at kicker for gameplay right now, and still got Patterson and not Hester or the positional hero kick returner. I'm kind of holding back on my special teams right now, keeping my overall down a little bit for the time being. So that's really it. And then we'll see what happens the rest of the year. There's not too much left. Still don't know what I'm doing next year. Gameplay, I think, has been the biggest problem this year. With the soft counters, it just seems like having so much of the game really based on these random probabilities has just not been a good way to go at all. It's, it's arbitrary. I mean, that's the word that keeps coming to my head. It's an arbitrary way to build in difficulty. The game is more difficult than it was last year. It requires more skill. That is a good thing. It's easier to build overall. However, overall is more important now, as we know, with league to league. So it's good in a way that's more difficult, but some of the ways they implemented difficulty are just, it's just the counter system and going against so many teams that have ultimate freeze setups like I do. It just becomes a matter of trying to choose plays from the tree that has the lower probabilities and then just going from there. Increasingly, what I'm doing is I'm going after big plays more so I don't get ground up by, an ultimate free setup encounters. The less plays you run, to a certain extent, the better that you are going to do. That said, you could get yourself into a lot of trouble doing that. If you take sacks and things of that nature, you get yourself all backed up. So I still do like my short passing game. I'm trying to get better at it for sure. But it's the game and the way it's changed this year. In some ways, it has been just, it's been a little bit too much of a grind. Game is just difficult to a certain extent, and the reasons for the difficulty aren't, when you just get hit with 4 soft counters in a row and you're just kind of like, okay, whatever, it does get a little bit tiring. So there really is a few things that I think EA needs to do next year in terms of changing the gameplay. They could really use actually to radically change the whole engine of the game and the way that everything works. One thing they do need 100% to is they need to have some kind of a slider or some kind of a way to control how many head-to-heads you have open at any given time. Just going through a move and everything, and I just want to play my league drives and kind of, unpack and catch up and do all those things. Last thing I want to do is play 16 head-to-heads. I mean, it just seems to me that's just not reasonable. But complained about that before. I'll keep complaining about it, though, because it's something they need to fix, and they could fix it sooner rather than later as far as I'm concerned. So, but we'll see how it goes. We will see how next year goes. And I'm sure I've got, between coins and Madden Cash, I probably have, I would say, about 4.5 bosses left in me. So we'll see what 4th of July promo and other promos have to bring. They could really use to bring out another promo right now before the 4th of July. But, I mean, we'll kind of see how that goes. If they bring something out, obviously I will cover it. But that is it, guys. That's my video. Thanks for watching.